To understand the true magnitude of what happened in Gaza, we have to look past the breaking news and examine the long history underneath. For nearly 2 decades, the Gaza Strip, a narrow stretch of Mediterranean coastline barely 25 miles long, was home to over 2 million residents living within a heavily blockaded enclave. It was a pressure cooker of high population density, restricted movement, and shrinking economic futures where every family lived in the shadow of political stalemate. Then came the morning of October 7, 2023. In a single, coordinated assault launched into Israeli territory by Hamas, historical security boundaries were violently shattered. The attack resulted in the deaths of approximately 1,200 people, mostly civilians, alongside the abduction of over 240 hostages. That single day changed the region forever, prompting an immediate declaration of war, total border closures, and an intensive air campaign that rapidly escalated into a massive, multi-year ground invasion across the entire territory. What followed was a campaign of unprecedented devastation. As airstrikes relentlessly pounded urban neighborhoods, flattening entire residential blocks into gray dust, hundreds of thousands of people in the north were ordered southward with only what they could carry on their backs. But in Gaza, safety quickly became an illusion. The front lines shifted continuously, sweeping through towns, refugee camps, and designated safe zones alike. Families were forced to move not just once, but multiple times, fleeing from the ruins of Gaza City down to Khan Yunis, and into overcrowded tent encampments along the coast in Al-Mawasi and Rafah. Over 70,000 Palestinian lives were lost beneath the rubble, while hundreds of thousands more sustained life-altering injuries. Lifestyles vanished overnight as entire generations of extended families were wiped out, leaving behind lone children or grieving parents to navigate a surreal landscape of absolute loss. The true cruelty of the crisis manifested in the systematic collapse of the elements required to sustain human life. Critical infrastructure, including water treatment plants, bakeries, sanitation networks, and electrical grids, was largely reduced to tangled metal and rubble. Over 60 million tons of debris choked the streets, making basic movement nearly impossible. With aid blockades causing severe intermittent shutdowns of food, clean water, and fuel, large portions of the population faced catastrophic hunger and acute malnutrition. Hospitals, once the ultimate sanctuaries of healing, became epicenters of profound heartbreak. With power grids dead and fuel completely exhausted, surgeons performed emergency procedures on children under the faint, flickering glow of mobile phones, often operating without anesthetics, clean gauze, or basic surgical tools. Neonatal units struggled desperately to keep premature infants alive as incubators failed, while pregnant women faced an alarming surge in complications, anemia, and unassisted miscarriages amid a total absence of functional maternal care. The war did not stay confined to Gaza's borders. It triggered a wider regional conflict that drew in active fronts across the West Bank, intense cross-border exchanges with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and direct missile engagements involving Iran and regional proxy forces. Through shifting diplomatic phases, including brief humanitarian pauses, broken ceasefires, high-stakes international negotiations, and eventual high-level transitional frameworks like UN-backed governance shifts, the daily reality for millions remained profoundly scarred. Even after major formal ceasefire agreements took hold, the infrastructure of normal life remained broken, and the psychological trauma lingered deep within the community. Yet, amid the mountainous ruins of concrete and twisted iron, the human spirit refused to be completely erased. In makeshift schools set up under tattered canvas tents, volunteer teachers still gathered children to write lessons on scraps of paper. Laughter still echoed through alleyways cleared by hand, serving as a quiet, stubborn testament to a people holding on to their dignity. When history records these years, the ultimate measure of our global conscience will not just be found in the statistics of destruction, but in whether we chose to look away, or whether we kept the beating hearts behind the numbers alive in our memory.
Subscribe.